Welcome to Overtime with Jared P. and Jeremy Phillips. Oh, and Johnny. And Johnny O.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
need to be added to the title.
Let me
I
let
know. We
me
can do that.
let
We
me
can do
tell
that.
you something. I'm getting calls last night and this morning. Where's the show? Okay, so we got listeners, and here it is Wednesday. We're a little late, but they're patient and they know they're going to get a top notch product,
That's
especially
right.
with me on the horn here.
He needed
Yes.
the extra day to think up some excuses for Philly on Monday.
Yes, exactly.
Excuses that we win again. My God, I thought with an NFL guy, ex-NFL guy here, he would understand this game of football, man. Let's get into it here.
We're
Let's
gonna
go.
get
All
into
right.
it. We're gonna get
We'll,
into it.
we'll do NFL Power Five, which was controversial last week. Mine was correct. The rest of theirs was all over the place. And then see where my Chiefs are this week if they're still in the Power Five. They're at number 2 last week, but they did not play. We'll talk a little Bill Belichick rumors heading back to the NFL, possibly some key matchups in the NFL if we have time, and then also top 5 college football teams. But first, I want to thank our title sponsor, Elite Performance Chiropractic. The owner's right there, Jeremy Phillips. Tell people how they get in contact and what you do.
Yes, we're Elite Performance Chiropractic. We're on Westridge Road here in Greensboro, literally right beside Village Tavern. We've been serving this community officially now on Monday was 17 years.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. And we see everybody throughout the triad, lots of active people wanting to be more active, ton of athletes, ton of football players, baseball players and stuff. So we I guess with the title, with the name of our company, Elite Performance Chiropractic, it sounds like we cater to athletes. And initially that's what we did. But those athletes have parents, those athletes have grandparents. We see people from all walks of life just trying to get people more active and able to do the things they desire to do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. And we know he's from Elon. Oh, no, wait, Lenore Ryan. All right. All right, Johnny, you want to kick us off with the Power Five? Who do you have at number 5
Yeah,
for
who I have?
NFL Power Five?
All right. I had to do it again, man. I'm sorry. Now I'm apologizing, but I just couldn't leave one of these two teams off, and one of my teams dropped just a little bit, but I have the Colts, which are well deserving, okay, to be in that top 5 with a running game like they have. Man, Jonathan Taylor was just absolutely Saquon Barkley like in wherever they played in England. But I have them tied with the Detroit Lions. All right, the Lions, even though they put up 44 points, they beat a depleted team, that's for sure. But I want to keep them in that top 5 because they play the Eagles this Sunday night. That's going to be one of the best games of the year, I would think. So right now I have the Colts and the Lions tied at number 5. I had to do it, but I really am very confident in the Colts. They're still going, man. They're still winning. They're still, uh, up on their division, and Danny Dimes is doing just fine. But Jonathan Taylor, the running game is spectacular, and they will continue to win with a running game like that. So that's my number 5 and 5A.
He's been doing this the whole time we've done the podcast. He always sneaks an extra team or two. It was top 10, top 5. I've said, who's your number 1 team? He'll have 2. It's all right. Jeremy, who do you got?
I got Detroit. They their defense, I guess, is healthier this year compared to last year. Gibbs, I mean, just when you thought he couldn't get any better from his last year's performance, I think he has. I mean, it seems like last year, and they're still kind of doing it. Obviously, it's kind of the name of the game in the NFL now, is kind of running back by committee somewhat. Gibbs and Montgomery last year kind of went back and forth, like who was the hot hand. But it just seems like Gibbs is just kind of really, really taking that number 1 role, and he just – and I knew he was going to have a good game because every time Gibbs has a good game, I'm playing against him in fantasy. Every time, so
Yeah.
So I think he ended up putting like 40-some up against me this week. But I really like Detroit. Again, if they can stay healthy and stuff, more so than they did last year, but they looked really strong this week.
Yeah, I have the Colts at number 5, and my only concern is Daniel Jones. Can you trust him in the playoffs? But going by the way it looks right now, the running game makes him look like a really, really good quarterback. He had some good years in New York, right? And so you got a stout running game, a solid defense. I really like this Colts team, they're going to march away with that conference or with that division, which that's going to help with seeding and at least one home game. And so I like the Colts at number 5.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, you want to go at number 4 next?
Yeah, I got Philly at 4. I mean, it was a win. It was a win this week, but it was an ugly win against what I feel like is a kind of a depleted Green Bay team. Like Green Bay, after week 1 and 2, I guess week 1, I'm like, man, this team's solid, and I think they've had some injuries. I know they just put their center, I think this morning actually, on injured reserve, so that's a huge hit. It's a to their offensive line. But I like Philly still in my Power 5. I mean, they got a running game. I liked, Saquon was huge for them. Obviously he's a great running back, one of the best in the NFL. But they seem, and I think they're starting to understand that and hang their hat on that. Whereas we mentioned in podcasts previously earlier this year where they didn't really have that identity. Just when you thought, hey, hand it to Saquon, they said, oh, let's get cute and pass it. It seems like this past week, even though it was an ugly win, they ran Saquon and got positive yardage with Saquon. And then, of course, Devontae Smith came up big in the passing game. But, again, I think that was all set up due to running the football and establishing the run during that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know Green Bay has a really good defense, but that game was like almost impossible to watch. It was like watching a really bad soccer game or baseball game. It was like so boring. I don't trust the Eagles right now. That can change quickly, but their offense, I don't trust it at all. They should be on paper the best offense in the NFL. I mean, they're not. So at number 4 for me, Johnny, I don't have the Eagles. I have the Detroit Lions, and I think I was shocked when their coach took over the offensive play calling. I didn't know he had any experience doing that, and he put up 44 points, or their team put up 44 points. Now it's also against my Commanders team, if they continue this, they might be the all-time worst defense in the NFL. I think they said it's the first team since the 60s to give up 40 points in 3 straight games or something crazy stat like that. The Commanders, they're porous. Their secondary's bad. Everything's bad. They can't stop the run. They can't do anything. And they have injuries and all that. But even before that, they're just bad. So I don't know, but it's a good foray in for Campbell calling the plays. I was shocked by that. And he did a heck of a job. They did call all the right plays. They could have scored every time. I think they scored every time they touched the ball except for like once. So, but Detroit, I just really like them, and they're in a tough division that could hurt them down the road. That's gonna be a tough division to battle through, but I think they'll be battle tested once they hit the playoffs. I like Detroit at number 4.
And I'm going to save all my Eagle stuff for in case they're in my top 5 here. I'm not sure if they are or not, but I got a lot of answers to your questions about the Eagles. Anyway, number 4, I got the Patriots at number 4. Now they have not beaten a lot of some real good teams, but they did beat a good, solid Tampa Bay Buccaneer team this past week. Drake May continues to just look like a great court, definitely a top 5, top 10, top 7 quarterback without a doubt. This guy's playing just terrific football. They got the Jets this week. I mean, they have had an easy way of it so far. So let's see what they are, but they deserve to be in this top 5. So I'm going to go with the Patriots because of them going into Tampa and winning, and I'm going to stick with them at number 4 and keep them in my Power 5.
And I think it's a good call. Drake May is right now in Vegas the odds-on favorite to win the MVP, just like that. Isn't that crazy? Wow. Yeah, I don't know about that, but we'll see. It's a long season. All right,
I don't understand why you have to be a quarterback in this league to win the MVP. That drives me crazy.
Oh, I know. That's so
I mean,
true.
I don't know. It's just
Well, Saquon won it last year.
it just seems like the overall favorites are always quarterbacks.
Always.
I think hands down, Jonathan Taylor should be in the lead.
100%. I mean, Vegas
You know
should be
what?
jumping all over that, man. I mean, that guy is.
But they know the odds. They know it usually goes to a quarterback. So
Yeah.
So
All right. At number 3, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. And they actually went down. See, this shows how honest I am and analytical I am, because they didn't play. I don't like knocking teams when they don't play. But we did see another week of other teams playing, and some other teams really impressed me. Like, okay, I had my doubts, but these teams are looking. The teams I have above them, like, okay, they're definitely right now better than the Chiefs. But again, nobody wants to play the Chiefs. The Chiefs have more weapons than any other team on offense. They have the best play caller, in my opinion, of all time, in Andy Reid, and you still have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. He might not be having the best season, but I think they have him third in the NFL MVP voting or odds as of right now. So I like the Chiefs a lot. They always have, with Spagnuolo, a top 10 type defense. You're not going to score a bunch of points on them, and if they can string some wins together, get a game at Arrowhead, they're going to be super dangerous. I have them at number 3. Jeremy, you disagree? Oh, wait,
yes,
Johnny, go ahead.
absolutely, I do disagree. I'm not sold on the Chiefs. I mean, the potential is obviously there. I mean, they got a solid defense. Spagnuolo, of course, Andy Reid knows how to will his way to the playoffs. So and of course, if they get a home game at Arrowhead, that's definitely a different situation. I will reveal my number 3 is Indy, and it is my only AFC team in my top 5.
Okay.
I just think, not saying the AFC's weak. I said they're just playing weak right now, but a lot of that can be pointed at injuries. Baltimore early in the year, now they've strung together 3 wins, and here comes Baltimore, right? They're starting to get healthy and stuff like that, so that should be interesting. But Indy right now, you and I touched on last week about Danny Dimes checking his confidence level, see where it was at. I think, of course, establishing the run early in that game helped with that, and it helped the play action pass and stuff. But he was back on his game, not boneheaded turnovers and stuff like the previous week and stuff like that. So, Indy did nothing but kind of solidify being in my top 5 this week.
Yeah. No, they got to keep them in there, man. And they played a tough game. That game went overtime, but I mean, again, any week in the NFL, any win in the NFL is terrific, and they beat Atlanta, I guess. But they won, they're winning ball games.
And plus, enough to be said. I mean, where were they at? Spain?
I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah, they played early morning. So, I mean, that's a contributing factor too. It is not easy to go over there and play a game and then turn around and come back. So they had some travel and some other stuff going on, so, and they still held it together and played well and came out with the win.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. My number 3 is they're jumping in my top 5 here. Seattle's for real. Oh my gosh. When I saw they went up 35-0, I know it was over Arizona, but they ended up winning, I guess, 44-20 or something like that. But Seattle's for real. That division is outstanding right now. Darnold is still doing his thing. It's regular season, but let's give this guy credit, because he's put a lot of games together that he is playing well. Their defense is pretty spectacular. I think they scored 2 or 3 touchdowns off the defense.
Yep.
So Seattle is my number 3. I'd like to jump to my number 2 real quick, if you don't mind, because they kind of go together. My number 2 are the Rams, okay? And they play each other this week. That is going to be a game and a half, man. Rams and Stafford, I mean, we've been saying it every week. God, they look fantastic. They look absolutely fantastic. They beat the hell out of the 49ers. So my number 2 are the Rams, a solid number 2. They look great, but so does Seattle, and they're right there next to each other. And I guess this Sunday will decide who's going to move up in the Power Five. But I'm looking forward to that game. I'm not sure what to expect, to be honest with you. I have no idea.
I'd have to agree with you. Number two, I have the Rams. Matthew Stafford, he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have 3 straight games with 3 straight games with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Yeah.
The key was no interceptions, and he's having a career year. I know I keep saying I'm worried about his back, but it doesn't seem to be a problem at all. Devontae Adams had a little hiccup injury that concerns me. Puka Nakua's been out with an injury. He's back, but I'd probably have him at number 1 if I wasn't worried about the receiving core. Although they're running these 3 tight end sets where it's like seems like somebody's open every play, and you got Stafford back there in the 17th year looking better than ever. So yeah, I have the Rams at number 2. What about you, Jeremy?
I got Seattle at number 2. But it could go back and forth. I think this is a perfect week for we kind of got them. All 3 of us agree that there's 2 solid teams in that division. You got the Rams. Well, hell, San Fran's solid too. So you got the Rams and Seattle. And I look, it is perfect timing if they're playing this week. So, and we'll see what comes out of that. I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think both teams stop the run really well. So I think it's going to go to the air. And I hope Devontae Adams they don't reveal a lot. But most people are saying he's probably going to play. So I don't think the injury was that severe or anything like that. But, it'll be interesting to see if he practices today or at least get some limited practices this week and is able to play. But, yeah, Seattle is my number 2. 2 great running backs. Well, 3 great running backs. They had a 3rd guy in there the other day. And then they got some good receivers and a solid defense, man. Their defense just absolutely gets after people. They had a couple turnovers against Arizona, 2 touchdowns, I think. So, I mean, they're playing really well.
All right, Jeremy, would you like to lead us off with your number 1 team? I think we can guess number 1 team in the NFL this week.
Yes, I'm sticking with my Rams. I mean, they didn't do anything but kind of solidify that for me. I mean, San Fran is a lot better than their record shows. They actually lost to San Fran earlier this year against basically San Fran's second team that was they had every one of their stars was out when they played the first go around, and somehow the Rams lost to them. But they had a solid win. I mean, it was not easy. But Kittles was Kittles, and Mac Jones is playing well for them, and but they still came out of there with a solid win against San Fran. So the Rams didn't do anything but solidify their number 1 spot for me.
Okay, solid. For me, my number 1 team this week in the NFL Power 5 is the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad. They're really good. I think they're going to do something. Oh, no, I have the Seattle Seahawks. And to be completely honest, I think this is I think they're 1 or 2. And I put them at 1, and it's not good analytics or analysis, but because I want a different team that's, that no one's talking about. And they have that, but they're also very good. And that defense is this Legion of Boom Part 2, or maybe a no-name defense, really. I mean, they're fun to watch. Sam Darnold, like last year, I was worried about him in the playoffs, and that turned out to be the case. He had his last 2 games were his worst 2 games of the season. Hopefully he's gotten past that. It does show he's not a system quarterback. He's going to 2 very different teams, 2 very different coaches, different styles of play, and he is playing lights out. I'm really happy for Sam Darnold. But all the things you mentioned earlier for number 2, I have the Seahawks as the number 1 team in the NFL currently. What about you, Johnny?
Okay. Let me take a little sip of this water first.
Oh, gosh.
Here we
go.
All
I got to say is, okay.
A win is a win.
They scored 10 points, against the Green Bay Packers. Oh my God. They won with 10 points. Okay. To me, Green Bay has the best defense in the NFL right now. Are you kidding me? I mean, we soon forget the first game of the year. Quick question. Who's got the best offense in the National Football League right now, all year long? Who's the best offense?
I mean, I'd have to we're talking about yards, points.
No, points, the best offense. Say it.
Was it the Rams?
Either Detroit, Indy, or the
Detroit.
Rams.
Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
Yeah.
one hell of an offense.
Yeah.
First game of the year, Green Bay held them to 13 points. Okay. Green Bay has held other teams to 16, 14, and something else, and they've lost like 2 or 3 of those games, which is, their offense is horrible. Okay. Right now. Love's not doing it. But everyone, oh my God, they only scored 10 points. Let's give the defense is back, and that is not good news for any other team in the NFL. I mean, they filled in these spots. I mean, that defense on third downs and fourth downs, they completely stopped Green Bay every time throughout that game. 10 points. They only scored 10 points. What's going on? I don't understand it. No one talked about the previous 3 games that they played. Okay. They scored 34, 28, and 38. I mean, every team has kind of an off, game. And they've had 4 games over 30 points, and one of them is 28 points. Okay. So they've only played 9 games. I don't understand the urgency of saying the Eagles are in trouble when that defense was just spectacular. Okay, I watched again every down, and I mean, I know this team. Have they hit their absolute level that they were there last year? No. But as you're saying with your Kansas City Chiefs at number 3, at 5-4, but they have potential. Okay, but they've lost games. We have potential, and we're still winning games. Okay, it makes no sense. Okay, to this point, it could change, but they have beaten Dallas, big deal. I know Dallas is the Buccaneers, Kansas City, Rams, Packers, and Vikings. They got the toughest schedule in the NFL. They're 7-2. They're number 1 seed in the NFC right now. Again, they're Super Bowl champs. Are you kidding me? They're number 1, man. They're my power. Anyone that doesn't have them at number 1 until they get knocked off, and it could happen, okay, because it's the NFL, but that's my argument. They can score points. And, well, how come AJ's not getting, the ball? Because they're double teaming AJ. They haven't even showed that whole game. They never showed, why he's not getting the ball. And a couple of them, I'm watching in the background, and he just kind of going through the motions with his routes, okay, because he's being double teamed. Well, Devontae Smith is catching, a few of these other big catches. It's because of AJ, and getting double teamed. So I'm just saying, and I know I sound a little argumentative here, but the Eagles are my number 1.
No, it's no surprise to us that you think that. I mean, I like your argument, except for, they only scored 10 points against Green Bay, who's a good defense, but then Green Bay the week before lost to the Panthers at home. So I don't know what Green Bay is doing right now. But you're right. They do have a good defense. The concern for me has been their offense, but, they've had some big games. I mean, I wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs with their defense. I think their defense is what won them the Super Bowl last year. Mahomes didn't have any time to throw the ball. So if they get anywhere close to that, they will be trouble, but they're not in my top 5. Nor I don't know. Was Jeremy's top 5 Eagles? No.
Yes, he was number 4.
Number 4.
I
Okay.
had Philly at 4. Yeah. And yes, they beat my Rams earlier this year over a damn kicker. Like, come on. That'll. Hopefully, we've righted that ship. But I mean, it's Philly's a solid team. They're in my top 5. But I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm just not sold on them being number 1. I'm not.
Not yet. They've been inconsistent this year. You'd admit that, Johnny. Their offense has been very inconsistent.
And his name escapes me. Johnny, you're going to have to help me with this. Something to watch is that right tackle going out for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
He's fantastic.
Well, you were mentioning injuries. He has won out every game. He's got ankle problems and this and that. I can't believe I can't think of his name. And our center's been out the last 3 games. Our starting center. But injuries, injuries are part of the game. But no, it's all good. I mean, you know what? We don't. Who you got? Seattle and the Rams, number 1. You guys. I got the Eagles. You don't win Super Bowls in Week 10, man. I mean, we got to wait. So it's just up for discussion. But you got to win ball games. And
all right. Well, Johnny gave us his 6 because he always does 6 as a 5. But Jared, who's your 6th team? Who is your team that's out of the Power 5 that like you're keeping an eye on, could probably be in next week?
This will make Johnny very happy. They are a team in the Northeast. They're a team who've won Super Bowls.
The Jets.
They're a team that I enjoy their coach a little bit now. Is the Patriots. The Eagles aren't in my top 6. We keep going until the Eagles are in it if you want me to. But I have the Patriots are at number 6, and they're almost number 5. They are tough, and May is playing lights out, and May is the best deep ball thrower now in the NFL. Now I just want to warn you guys, because I had the rental car and I had all this stuff. I might have to leave a little bit early from this because my phone is definitely going to die.
Well, we're about closing out anyway, but let me mention we got our Power 5. Let me mention our sponsors, and then we'll talk a little bit about Belichick, and we'll close it out. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, y'all keep going. If I'm off, y'all keep going and have a real conversation.
I know. We'll be talking about you like you would not believe, man. Hey, Estate Jewelry and Loan, something old, something new. Estate Jewelry has a great selection of new and estate jewelry, and you can really find a nice, unique piece at Brian's showroom. You can find his showroom. Where is he? He's at 2511 Battleground Ave, and you can go online at estatejewelryloan.com to check out what he's got. Salsarita's Fresh Mexican Grill, located in High Point at the Palladium and in Greensboro in the Target Shopping Center in New Garden. He's got a food truck, catering, daily specials, and you can find their menu at salsaritas.com. Schenk and Torrance Insurance, located in Greensboro, but they serve the entire Triad and state. Brian Torrance specializes in personal insurance, including auto, homeowners, and life insurance. Call him at 336-310-1320 for all your insurance needs. And our new advertiser, we welcome. Place is called 4 Real 24. 4 is in golf, F-O-R-E. Real golf, indoors, anytime. You're a member here. It's almost like a gym membership. You can play anytime.
Oh, that's awesome.
The door opens with an app, the whole 9 yards, and it's state of the art. It's a 24/7 indoor golf facility offering iconic golf courses and state-of-the-art equipment. Their dynamic hitting area has a moving floor, ball retrieval, auto tee that pops up, multi-face turf simulating fairways, deep rough, and even bunkers inside. You're hitting off certain, that acts like a bunker. Check out 4real24.com. It's 4real24.com, and that's F-O-R-E. Opening soon, December 1st. The owner, Clay Jordan, is a great guy and is very excited to see you all come and join him over there.
What a great concept, the 24-hour thing.
Very cool.
All right, so Bill Belichick, rumors he could be the Giants' next coach. Jeremy, what do you think?
I don't think he's going anywhere, man. I don't know. I just don't see him going anywhere. I really don't. What do you guys really think this is for real? Do you think this has got traction to it?
It's chatter. I think it's just chatter.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything. I mean, the comparison and the history and stuff, it makes for a great story, but I don't think it has anything to it, to be honest with you.
I think he hasn't helped himself at Carolina, although their defense is much better than it was at the beginning of the season. I got to give him credit. He doesn't have a quarterback, and this team, in my opinion, should have won 4 in a row at this point. But they're not good, but they're better than their record. They are better, and they're getting better. That doesn't help him. And I think Pete Carroll is hurting him, with GMs and executives. And I'm not saying that Pete Carroll's not a good coach anymore. They don't have a quarterback. That you're not going to win a lot of games with Geno Smith for the most part. Here and there, he has a good season, like 8 or 9 games. But I think they're looking at these older quarterbacks and defensive-minded coaches. The NFL is definitely going younger and offensive-minded. And why are you going to bring him in? What, for 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Now, will Belichick, would he leave for the Giants? I don't think the Giants are going to offer him. I think if the Giants offered him, he would leave Carolina in 2 seconds. I think
Yep.
he wants to be in the NFL. I think he only went to college when no team, he had one real interview with Atlanta, and that didn't go well. From reports, he wanted too much control, and Arthur Blank said no. And so I think Belichick would leave Carolina in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And not just Carolina. I think he wants to coach and end in the NFL, but I don't think, at least the Giants are not going to offer him for what? You're not looking for the future at all.
Yeah. Well,
No.
that's the thing. No one wanted him. That's why he's at North Carolina. The
Right.
NFL did, kind of pass down. And when the Atlanta Falcons pass on you, you got to wonder, what the hell's going on? But I agree with you. If the Giants offer him and want him, that could be interesting. But here's a name I think that would fit the Giants and Jackson Dart. And I'm not a Giant fan, but boy, what a cool relationship this would be. John Gruden to the Giants,
Yeah.
working with that kid.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely. That'd be fun. That'd be fun
And
to
then,
watch.
I read on some. It's funny that it doesn't make headlines, and the media kind of filters things or whatever. But I think it was a pretty big deal. Didn't he win a court case or something recently? Gruden. They really didn't report about it.
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
Against the
email.
NFL. Yeah.
With
Yeah,
the
so
email.
he won that, and you could tell, kind of the NFL put the kind of squash and
Yeah.
quietness on that. But yeah, dude, I follow him on social media. He does great things talking about schools that send him, jerseys and
Yes.
apparel and stuff. He does a great job with that. I've always loved Gruden. I don't know, New York though, he just seems to just a little bit. I don't know, I think New York has to. You either have to be an old guy like Coughlin, and you just deal with the New York media. I don't see Gruden being in New York. I really don't. But if that's a job offer he gets and that gets him back in the NFL, he'll jump all over it, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'd like to see him with a college, a very high-end college program. He just seems like a teacher to me, and he's dynamic. He's full of freaking energy. I love listening to him. I love the comedians that do impressions of him. They got him down to the T. But no, I'd love to see that kind of stuff. I'd love to see him get back into coaching.
Yeah,
Well,
he had his start at Tennessee, didn't he?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, I think he got his start at University of UT. I think that's where he met his wife, actually, like doing grad assistant work or something like that.
Nice.
And then, of course, there's Jared. I think he's on pedals. And then, college. There's some marquee jobs out there right now. So,
Yeah.
He could definitely fill a void somewhere, I'm sure.
Penn State, wouldn't that? We think what do you think? Penn State, would that be a good fit for a John Gruden?
Penn State, I see him in the SEC.
Yeah. LSU.
Does he go to Florida? Does he go to LSU?
Man. But the same names come up. Okay, that for LSU they got Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, every time a job opens, he's up for it. Okay,
I know. And that's for major college jobs, but like lower level college jobs for years, it was the guy down here at State. I can't tell you how many times he would get mentioned, and he would parlay that into an extension at State, and I'm just like, this guy makes a kill. He must be great friends with a lot of athletic directors and stuff to just throw around his name because, Dorn's his name, right? And so he would get mentioned, I think, before this NIL stuff or whatever, but I think he got mentioned like a couple of coaches ago at Tennessee. He parlayed that into an extension at State and stuff like that. And, but Lane Kiffin for major college ball is the same way. These major colleges, they make me laugh because there's a handful of guys that are on everybody's list.
Yep.
And, they fire these guys for getting 2 losses, and they just think there's some head coaching tree they can just go pluck another one out of.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing? You're paying this guy $50 million to not coach,
Yeah.
and then who's out there to replace him?
Oh my God. No.
I don't understand it. I think there's a lot of decision makers that are not football guys out there.
Well, yeah, I think the boosters get too involved in that kind of stuff, right? Don't you think the guys that are throwing them money?
And dude, who jumps on this LSU? I mean, they got the dabblank governor involved there. I mean, the governor got the athletic director. I mean, technically, he's a state employee. The head football coach at Louisiana State is a state employee.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess the governor has some kind of say, but like, oh my gosh, this one you ain't got enough stuff to deal with. Now you got the governor of the state breathing down your back. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, but they got the money. But, Nick Saban's coming up in that talk too.
I know.
I mean, come on. But you know what's a good one real quick? Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Bills. Brady was at LSU.
He was the brains behind the 2019 team.
Absolutely.
And he hadn't had a crazy amount of success in the NFL and stuff like that. So maybe he goes back to LSU. I mean, and if they're trying to save some money, which I know LSU's got kind of unlimited money, they may could get him on the cheaper than they could trying to entice a Lane Kiffin or something to give up. If I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm staying put. I'm staying put. He's, they're probably going to make the playoffs.
You're doing a great job at Ole Miss.
Doing a great job at Ole Miss, and I don't know why people say, "Well, Ole Miss isn't as a big of an SEC school." I'm like, oh, you start with an SEC championship at Ole Miss, they'll make it as big as you want it to.
That's right.
You're
right. Absolutely.
So I think he's got a good thing going down there, and if he's happy living there, I would stay put. Stay put.
And the only other one, Penn State. I'm hearing. Remember Eli Drinkwitz? He was at App State, correct? Right? Quite a few years ago. Now he's at Missouri, doing a really good job at Missouri. He's kind of the so-called front runner for Penn State. That would be a good coach.
My thing with Penn State is it's got to be hard to recruit there. I mean, yes, I know it's Penn State. And yes, I know it's tradition. But now, I mean, they're going to have to start throwing some money. There's not a lot going on in Happy Valley. I mean, let's be honest. Now, in comparison to some of these places these kids can go. So but I like Franklin there. But apparently the powers that be saw otherwise. And and the flip side of that, I keep hearing his name mentioned for the Virginia Tech job. Do you keep hearing this too?
Yeah. That would be that. I think that would be a good fit.
I do too. I like him as a coach. I really do.
James Franklin is great. A good buddy of mine, his son Danny O'Brien played for Forsyth. East Forsyth years ago. I was covering him when I had the sports magazine. He went to Maryland. He was a hell of a quarterback in Maryland. Then transferred to Wisconsin and all that. But James Franklin was his offensive coordinator his freshman year at Maryland.
Okay.
So Danny and Franklin are, like father-son, and Danny's the quarterback coach at Penn State for the past 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's still there right now, but I guarantee you if Franklin gets another job, which, will probably be, but Vodtech, I would imagine Danny would probably go right with him and be the quarterback coach. They are tight, and Danny is such a football mind. It's great. So I'm anxious to see what happens.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's made it kind of crazy. Like, my bold prediction several podcasts ago with you is one of these days there's going to be kind of a hierarchy of college football. These top 30 programs, I feel like are going to be their own league one day.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the other teams kind of on the outside looking in. But I think that would be cool because maybe we'd get back to some of our old New Year's Day bowl games and stuff like that. But, it's kind of funny, because, of course, Virginia Tech was a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Probably 25 years ago. And now people are when talking about Franklin going to Virginia Tech, they're kind of looking down their nose at that. And I'm like, okay, it's not Penn State now, but you go there and win. And I think Virginia Tech could be as big as anybody. You know what I mean? Just like they were with the Mike Vick days and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And Beamer, Beamer did a hell of a job with Virginia Tech. And I don't even think it goes as far back as 25 years. I'm talking 10 years ago. Virginia Tech was still right there, and doing a nice job. And I tell you what an atmosphere. My good friend Jack Groff, he manages the Kickback Jacks over on New Garden. Big Virginia Tech guy, okay, and him and I go back and forth with Syracuse and Virginia Tech. So I go to the Virginia Tech Syracuse game every year with him, and I finally got to experience a game, in Blacksburg. One of the greatest atmospheres I've ever been in my life, man. The opening, the song and all that kind of stuff. The introductions are just absolutely fantastic. James Franklin is a perfect. Now that I really think about it, would be a perfect fit for Vatech.
Yeah, I do too. But again, people are kind of snubbing their nose saying he's too big time of a coach for Virginia Tech. Well, heck, I mean, that sounds like a challenge to me if I'm a coach. Let's go there. Let's make Virginia Tech as big as these other programs,
And in the ACC, come on, man, he could turn them around.
And I don't know what it is. I mean, yes, I know the SEC is the SEC, but are they like that? Are they like that because they've recently won? I mean, yes, I know it's a lot of money in the SEC. The LSU's coming off a national title in 2019. They got a ton of people, drafted. They got Alabama in their run with Saban and stuff like that. But I really and truly think, it's funny when we talk about this rotating wheel of coaches and stuff, and they're like, "Oh no, he's too big for that job." Like what?
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, this is a national stage. We're all competing for the same national title. This coach had a tough run. Penn State didn't want him.
Yeah.
Although I didn't think it was very warranted. They didn't want him. So let the guy coach somewhere, and let's see what he's got. If he can pull a team up to be a national contender. I don't think it's out of touch. I don't. I mean, now no. I don't work in accounting for LSU, and I don't work in accounting for Virginia Tech. So maybe the numbers are starkly different. I don't know. But I think if Virginia Tech, you go there and you win in the ACC, here comes that alumni money and stuff, and you create that mountain.
Absolutely. You think of a James Franklin coming from Penn State. He's a big name.
Yep.
Going to Vatech. Vatech's been down a little bit. Think of that NIL money that would just be created having a guy like this come into that program.
I agree. I mean, Carolina did it with naming Belichick. They sold out their stadium for the first time, season tickets, first time in history. I mean, the money's there if they make the right hire and stuff. And I just think it's so crazy once these guys get positioned and get a head coach at a big name program, and then so their resume now is too good. They're overqualified to coach, but like a handful of schools.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. No.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I hope that actually happens. Now I'm going to start kind of looking into it. I'm going to ask my buddy Jack over at Kickback Jacks. I'm sure he's on all he knows what's going on. So I'm going to see who that lead man is. I'm hoping it's him. So I'll keep you posted. But hey, another great show. Thanks for coming on again, Jeremy. Seriously, you can come on anytime you want, man. As long as we can schedule it in, that's perfect.
All right.
Well, another good one. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you, Johnny. Have a good one.
We're not talking overtime pay. We're talking the overtime play. The big stories, the big plays, the big drama. We